University. We're going to have a neutral crew that's going to be working this ball game today, all from the Mid-America Conference. Buell Roach, Roger Perrymore, and Sam Licklider. The starting lineups for today: Syracuse, a veteran ball club. They'll be starting 3 seniors. Houston returning 3 starters from that team that made it to the Final Four a year ago. Billy, the matchup's really interesting. Houston definitely has the most size.
Well, they do have the most size. That Drexler going up against Routens is going to really be something to watch. I think Clyde Drexler is one of the great athletes in college basketball. Routens is a great all-around player who loves to pass the ball. That's going to be an interesting combination there today.
Sandifer's off to an excellent start in that guard spot, averaging 20 points a game for the Orangemen. We'll be back now with the opening tip-off in just a moment.
There's a time in life for the young to say, I want something else, a different way. The town's the same, the people too. School is over, need something to do. The services have it, it'll really show. You'll see new places, you'll really grow in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Challenge, adventure, excitement too, a time to enjoy and see something new. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. You'll work hard, feel really free, serving your country for all to see in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Be part of a team, be friends forever. A part of the services you won't forget ever. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. It's a great place to start.
Light up your eyes, unwrap your smiles. Let your arms undo the miles. Bring your heart back home and find that special face. Decorate your time with laughter. Let the hours live ever after.
In the past 40 years, Chevrolet has brought more people home for the holidays than anyone. Have a happy new year, America.
This is our deluxe model. Triple track, 2-storm.
There are certain things you've always wanted, but for some reason, you just never got them. Like the Black & Decker Workmate.
So I caught this baby on 50-pound test.
It's not like you can't afford it, but somehow you never got around to getting one.
So she bids 3 spades, so I bid 3 no trump.
So next time you see a Workmate, instead of just longing for one, why not stop in and get it?
So I
The
double.
Workmate Work Center. It's time you got one.
Over the years, us guys in light beer from Miller have had a lot of laughs. But this time we'd like to share some personal sentiments. Boo?
Have a very Merry Christmas.
Yeah, and a Happy New Year, too.
Yeah.
And this holiday, may there be bass under all your lily pads.
May all your pockets be full.
Feliz Navidad. Peace.
We wish you everything you always wanted in a Christmas.
And more.
You know, I'm glad they asked me to do this commercial. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
The Carrier Dome in Syracuse, the 5th largest dome stadium. The Syracuse Orangemen, 5-0. They've gone to 12 straight postseason tournaments. Houston coming off of that surprising finish a year ago when they reached the Final Four, only to lose to North Carolina in the semifinals in the Superdome. Syracuse, coached by Jim Boeheim. Jim is a native of Lyons, New York, nearby here. He was a starting guard for the Orangemen, and he played in the backcourt along with Dave Bing, who, of course, is a legendary player for Syracuse. The Houston club, Guy Lewis in his 27th year. This is a club that up front is very strong. But the big question mark coming into this afternoon is whether or not they can get the guard play that they need. They lost both starting guards as well as the backups from last year's club. They have moved Michael Young to a guard spot, but they're still not completely satisfied that they have solved the problem. And as Billy Packer mentioned at the top, they're going to be pressured early in this game. Jim Boeheim said 2 minutes into the game, we'll know whether Houston can handle that pressure. This crowd, we expect around 20,000, is as enthusiastic as you'll ever see. That's Tony Thruen for the starters. Leo Loudon, he's the key to this ball club. Their center will be a sophomore from Malvern, New York, Andre Hawkins. In the backcourt, this is Gene Waldron, a junior out of Long Island City, New York. And Sandifer, one of the tri-captains. from Ann Arbor, Michigan. And so the stage is set. The early part of the season, both these clubs will find out just about where they are as far as their progress is concerned. Neither have been tested severely yet. Guy Lewis, who won his 500th game this year, the first game of the year, the 16th coach in the history of college basketball to accomplish that feat. He has his polka dot towel. He has only 3 of them left. They were given to him in 67, 68. He had about 3 dozen of them. And now he's down to his final 3 towels, so they're going to have to come up with a new supply.
And his 24 cups of water, which he starts each game with 24 cups of water. I understand he puts most of them away.
Now Bruin will jump center, even though he's only 6'5", but he has a 42-inch vertical leap. He'll be going up against Larry Mishaw. Mishaw at 6'9".
Routens has his feet in the circle. I guess he realizes what he's doing right now.
They're deploying themselves. First meeting ever between these two clubs. Look at Bruin get up.
The ball was thrown a little bit off center, but he really can get in the air.
This is Routens out of Toronto, Canada. Bruin inside.
And here comes the full court pressure.
Young will have to handle a lot of that. This is Clyde Drexler, outstanding junior forward. To Dickens, to Olajuwon.
That handles the press, doesn't it?
Oh, Hakeem the Dream makes it 2-2. Rottens had to change his shot, and he's been fouled.
But it doesn't look like the 45-second clock is going to be too important because I don't think the guy can get the button down quick enough. Gary, this surprised me. Routens, who is a man you really have to look out for, on both occasions down court was left wide open. I'm surprised at the matchup there.
Mishaw was the man guilty of fouling. Routens will have a pair of shots coming. He's a very fine free throw shooter, hitting 92% coming into this game.
He didn't look good on the jump shot nor on that foul shot. He pulled away from it very quickly.
He's had some problems with an ankle. Syracuse now with a 3-2 lead. Drexler, look at the pressure to Dickens. Dickens, a sophomore from Houston. In fact, 4 of the 5 starters come from Houston.
Nice overplay on the inside by Hawkins.
Out to Dickens. He didn't play that much last year. Played in 14 games. Bruin tries to keep it alive. Mishaw. Routens brings it out. And Young with the steal. Both teams a little cold right now. Hakeem, and I believe he walked to the ball. He did.
Watching Hakeem play yesterday in practice, he has a tendency, Gary, without having the great hands, to get himself kind of confused when he touches the ball instead of catching it first and then making the play.
He also tries to put the ball down too much. Tries to dribble and gets in real trouble. Here is Bruin. Good block. Hakeem with the block. Clyde Drexler. Smooth. Clyde the glide on the move to Mishaw.
Now that's what I'm talking about. Just the opposite. Mishaw has the great hands inside, caught that ball in traffic, and had the presence of mind to put it up easily.
That shows you how Drexler can handle the ball also. He broke that pressure effectively. Routens. Andre Hawkins.
Routens is a great passer, and I'm surprised at that matchup, which has Mishaw and Routens.
Routens is averaging 7 assists a game, and he had one there. Foul inside. It's going to go on Young of Houston, charging.
Down at the other end of the court now. I thought it would be Clyde Drexler on Routens and put Mishaw on Bruin. But it's the other way around, and I think that Routens has a little bit more quickness that Mishaw can handle.
Well, what jumpers you have on each other, and Bruin and Drexler going against each other. This is Waldron, and Waldron has been fouled by Dickens. Waldron has been having some problems with an injury. Dickens picking up the personal foul, his first. 3rd team foul now against the Houston Cougars.
Guy Lewis has been one of the first guys to go with that second guard being a guy of size. Dickens is a little bit short to play a guy like Waldron. Waldron's got good enough quickness to stay with him. He's got about 2 or 3 inches on him.
They're saying that Waldron shot that ball. They're giving him 2 free throws. I don't think he shot it.
No, not even close.
But he will have a pair of free throws. Waldron from Long Island City, New York. He was a starter last year as a sophomore. In the summertime, he played in the Virgin Islands. He was conducting a basketball clinic over there.
This is a great free throw shooting team in Syracuse, shooting almost 80% as a team, 78.
A good shooting club, shooting so well. In fact, last year they did a good job also from the field, as did Houston.
Here comes Syracuse for the first time back in the zone, 2-3 type zone.
Michael Young is the most sought-after player in the state when he came out of Texas to Drexler.
Fine penetration by Young inside. He has the capability of playing as a swing man, guard forward type, so he can get it inside.
Drexler, his first 2 points. Waldron with Dickens all over him. A reach around, he got a piece of it. But coming up with it the other end, Sandefur, he saves it.
Not a good pass by Olajuwon.
The tempo of this game really torrid. They're moving back and forth. Haven't really gotten underway as far as the organization. Little helter-skelter. Bruin, nice pass. Sandefur. And now every one of the starting 5 for Syracuse has scored in this game. 9-6 Syracuse in the lead.
Shows you the versatility of a Drexler. He's the guy, really the key to breaking the press so far.
Young is probably the most underrated player they have on this club. Last time out, he had 22 points in the win against Auburn.
And everybody remembers the game against North Carolina in the semifinals last year where Young only scored 2 points. That might have been one of the real keys that put Houston out of the Final Four.
And he was sick during that game. Here's Hawkins. He's been fouled. Olajuwon picking it up.
We're seeing some mismatch situations right here. That one created by Tony Bruin. Now Hawkins went up there. One of the things that Hawkins does is use his body well, but he in that case might have used the right arm to shield off the defender, but got away with it.
That's 14 fouls against Houston, the first on Akeem. 2 points in the game thus far for Andre Hawkins. This man was in foul trouble all last year. He says that he has now played with controlled aggression, trying to stay out of that foul difficulty. 6'8", a sophomore. 11-8, Syracuse.
Well, another factor, Gary, is this crowd. You know, Lexington last week and up here at the Carrier Dome this week, 2 of the great places to play basketball in All-America.
Houston getting ready to make changes in the backcourt. They will substitute in pairs. To Mishaw, big, strong inside man, Olajuwon.
Some stuff. Jimmy Boeheim saying they're coming over our backs, but he realizes if Houston's going to get the ball that low, they're real trouble.
He almost stuffed one of the orange men in the basket that time. Reach in by Young. Here he comes. 11-10, a chance now to take the lead. Houston, Drexler trying to do that. Olajuwon. Boy, is he playing with
beautiful pass.
Real pressure inside to Drexler. Olajuwon doesn't look like the same guy, does he?
Beautiful pass inside. It was a great catch by Drexler, but some look by Olajuwon.
What a year difference it's made for this man. Didn't start playing basketball till 79. Olajuwon.
Well, Hawkins sent some great screens.
Brown's a little cold in the early going, and Akeem has another rebound. That's 4 already for him. Houston with a 1-point lead. Dickens. Eric Dickens hasn't been scoring all that much, averaging only 3 points a game, and now all of Houston's players have been able to get into the scoring column.
Sandefur's been pretty quiet so far. Young really on him.
Waldron after the steal. Attempt.
You notice how Syracuse has pulled off the press, probably because Drexler did a good job throwing right over the top of it.
That was one of the question marks, whether Houston had the poise outside to handle the pressure. Broken up by Waldron, saved by Mishaw. Here comes Sandefur to Routens.
Routens took his eye off the pass. Now he's down, he's had a lot of physical problems, including the 2 knee operations last year, but he took his eye off the pass on that one.
Not to mention that Routens had back surgery when he's a young kid. A lot of people felt he'd never play again. But he's come back here. His team now trailing by 1 at the 14:39 mark.
We are USA 1, And #1 is taking charge in high-technology transportation. With some of the highest mileage numbers in cars like the diesel Chevette. Taking charge in four-wheel drive with new S10 Blazers and pickups. And the versatile Chevy Citation, Chevrolet, America's sales leader, is taking it to the limit. And now on new 82 models only, get 10.9% financing that can save you hundreds of dollars on financing costs.
When I was looking for a small computer, I went to IBM because they know what a small, big company needs. I wanted data, word processing, and some word data processing. And they showed me a small computer to fit our budget. IBM even had a place to learn how to use it. That impressed me, us. And my good business sense even impressed my girlfriend, Charlotte.
IBM.
Ooh! Ah!
That's the sound of new improved Sinex. Now a second of ooh, and up to 12 hours of ah. Medicated Vicks vapors penetrate tough congestion instantly with a powerful feeling of relief.
Ooh!
Then new Sinex shrinks swollen nasal membranes even longer, so now you breathe freely for up to 12 hours.
Ah!
New improved Sinex long-acting nasal spray. A second of
ooh.
Even more.
Last week, we were in Lexington, Kentucky, and our Chevrolet player of the game was 6'6" Derek Cord with 26 points and 7 rebounds. He was just outstanding as they defeated Villanova. And near the conclusion of every CBS Sports NCAA basketball game, Billy Packer and I will be selecting the Chevrolet player of the game. And in case we disagree, our producer Rick Sharp will cast the deciding vote. Chevrolet donates $1,000 to be equally shared by the general scholarship funds of both schools to assist students in all academic disciplines. Houston with a 14-13 lead with 14:35 to go in the first half. We have a change in the backcourt, a reach-in foul on Hawkins. We have 2 men in now, Reed Geddes, and also coming in is Derek Giles, and that's the way Guy Lewis wanted to do it, was substitute in pairs.
Right, he took Dinkins out, and he took Olajuwon out, who's having an incredible game so far, just wants to calm him down. He's off to an excellent start. Everybody probably remembers Geddes from the 10-for-10 free throws he made to put his team in the Final Four last year. There's Hawkins on the reach.
Giles, nice save, up to Young. Young to follow, and he walked to the ball. That's 4 turnovers now against Houston. They are really doing a good job following their own shots. Houston getting the multiple shots thus far.
That's a great rebounding ball club, particularly with the quickness on the offensive end of the court.
They have 5 offensive rebounds already. Tony Bruin out of Astoria, New York. To Routens. Broken up. Nice hands by Drexler. It's off of Syracuse.
He's a great athlete, and that time Houston went to the zone, even with his smaller club on the floor.
Turnovers now 4 each. Man dribbling the ball, Giles, played in junior college last year, Lee Junior College in Baytown, Texas.
Syracuse back to the man-to-man.
Young seemingly always getting inside. Houston now with a 3-point lead. 4 points for Young.
Geddes is out there on Sandifer. Syracuse has got to get Sandifer in the offense. Been awful quiet so far.
He and Routens both have not really found the mark offensively for this club.
It's a 2-3 zone now by Houston. There's Sandifer.
Sandifer doesn't carry a lot of weight. That's some concern, but the quickness in his shooting ability. 4 points for Sandifer.
Beautiful touch pass by Drexler.
Geddes out of Houston also to Young. Here comes Waldron. To Sandifer, and he's 2 for 2. Syracuse takes the lead. Geddes gets it back now. Geddes has really come on. He's a sophomore. Last year, you might recall, in that Mid-East Regional, Midwest Regional, hit 10 straight free throws against BC. Big free throws at that time. And now he started to steady this ball club. Well,
it amazes me. The scouting report, as well as Routens has been playing, you wonder why Houston's not guarding him. Not a good pass.
Waldron got it off to Sandifer. Bruin.
He walked.
Hawkins will save it. Sandifer again. 3 in a row.